Hi guys, so today we're reading Prince Cinders. It's a different variation of Cinderella, and we're going to be paying attention to the differences we see between the original Cinderella and this Cinderella that is called Prince Cinders. So, from the cover already, we can clearly see that this Cinderella story is about a boy and not a girl. So, that's already one difference that we can see just from the cover. So, as I'm reading, think about the differences that you noticed throughout this story compared to the original Cinderella that we read before. So, this one is Prince Cinders by Babette Cole. Prince Cinders was not much of a prince. He was small, spotty, scruffy, and skinny. He had 3 big, hairy brothers who were always teasing him about his looks. They spent their time going to the palace disco with princess girlfriends. They made poor Prince Cinders stay behind and clean up after them. When his work was done, he would sit by the fire and wish he was big and hairy like his brothers. On one Saturday night, when he was washing the socks, a dirty fairy fell down the chimney. "All your wishes shall be granted," cried the fairy. "Ziz, ziz, boom, tick-tack-taw, this empty can shall be a car. Biff, bang, bong, bo, 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 to the disco you shall go." "That can't be right," said the fairy. "Toe of rat and eye of newt, your rags will turn into a suit." "Drat," thought the fairy, "I didn't mean a swimsuit. Your greatest wish I'll grant to you, you shall be big and hairy too." Prince Cinders got big and hairy, all right. "Rats," said the fairy, "wrong again, but I'm sure it all wears off at midnight." Prince Cinders didn't know he was a big hairy monkey because that's the kind of spell it was. He thought he looked pretty good. So off he went to the disco. The car was too small to drive, but he made the best of it. So Prince Cinders is looking in the mirror, and he can't see that he looks like a big hairy monkey. So that's one difference that did not happen in the original Cinderella, because she could see how she changed, and she changed to be in this beautiful ball gown, and Prince Cinders turned into be a big hairy monkey. But when he arrived at the Rock and Royal Bash, he was too big to fit through the door. He decided to take the bus home. A pretty princess was waiting at the stop. "When's the next bus?" he grunted. Luckily, midnight struck and Prince Cinders changed back into himself. The princess thought he had saved her by frightening away the big hairy monkey. "Wait!" she shouted, but Prince Cinders was too shy. He even lost his trousers in the rush. The princess was none other than the rich and beautiful Princess Lovely Penny. She put out a proclamation to find the owner of the trousers. The Princess Lovely Penny decrees that she will marry whoever fits the trousers lost by the prince who saved her from being eaten by the big hairy monkey. Fitting sessions begin today. Signed, P.L. Every prince for miles around tried to force the trousers on, but the trousers refused to fit any of them. Of course, Prince Cinder's brothers all fought to get into the trousers at once. "Let him try," commanded the princess, pointing at Cinders. "They won't fit that little squirt," sneered his brothers. But they did. Princess Lovelypenny proposed immediately. So Prince Cinders married Princess Lovelypenny and lived in luxury happily ever after. And Princess Lovelypenny had a word with the fairy about his big hairy brothers. Whom she turned into house fairies, and they flitted around the palace doing the housework for ever and ever. So, what we're looking for in this story, Prince Cinders, is all the differences that we notice between this one and the original Cinderella. So, the ending is different because the girl, Princess Lovelypenny, proposes to Prince Cinders instead of the prince proposing to Cinderella. So, that's another difference in the story. And in the end, in the original story, the one we read before, Cinderella gives her stepsisters husbands to marry and lets them live happily ever after too. But in this story, the Prince Cinders punishes his brothers and makes them do housework for the rest of their lives. So they kind of have different endings. This one, the brothers didn't end up so lucky. So look on Google Classroom for your teacher's writing assignment, and tomorrow we're going to read the Interstellar Cinderella and notice the differences between this one, Prince Cinders, and the original Cinderella.